Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year. I have a good one for you today. I want to look at what I want to call the sealed war between Pokemon and One Piece. We all know One Piece has been going pretty wild lately. We all know Pokemon had a crazy bull run. We all know that it is cooling down quite a bit. Some people think that the bubble is popping. Some people think that the bubble for One Piece is just starting or it's entering bubble territory. But what I want to do today is just take a look at the top 5 sets on TCGPlayer from Pokemon and One Piece, as well as what's going on eBay, and just do a little bit of comparison about what the market thinks about these top 5 sets. Are people buying them? How many people are buying them? And yeah, what does the future look like in 2026 from my own opinion from these top 5 sets? Yeah, let's get right into it. So looking at Team Up, we've got market price 9,498 versus Romance Dawn's market price of 4,344. So there is quite a bit of a price difference between these two right now. That doesn't really matter. These are, of course, these are different TCGs. The pricing differences between them won't matter much. What I care about is what the graphs here look like and what the volume looks like here on these. So going to Team Up again. Now, Team Up is an awesome set. I love Team Up, but I don't want to buy it. And looking at the graph here, it doesn't look like anybody else wants to either. So at these price points, I mean, we see the steady graph going up, but we only see one of these being sold each time. So to me, that indicates that nobody really wants to buy this at these price points, especially since we still have 3 listings. So if people wanted to buy them, they would have bought them. The listings are at market price right now. Let's look at the 1-year snapshot here. Aha, I see. This is probably why. This sold for $6,000 on the 26th, whereas before we could just see a steady price growth up, even hitting 12,000 at one point. But now we're going back down to 6,000. Looking at the low sell price, we have 4,500, right? So that seems reasonable. That $6,000 price point seems like it could be reasonable. If we do start to see more listings, we could see them quickly drop off down to $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 as the panic may start to set in, as price listings start to drop, and sales may start to pick up a little bit if that starts to happen. That one sold here is very interesting to me. It's still sitting at around 9,000, even with that most recent sell here. So, does this look bubblish? To me, it does, just because of the fact that nobody's listing or buying this. There's not a lot of pressure on it, and anybody could come in at any time right now and drop this price. Whereas if we look at One Piece over here on TCGPlayer, it looks really strong. The velocity of the curve is strong, yet its volume is still strong and sells. There's still quite a few listings of this, 25 listings. It looks like people still do want to buy this. Looking at the year snapshot, yeah, it looks good. It looks like it's matching up, 4,000, 5,000, 4,800, 5,000, 4,700. Yep, it looks strong. It looks like it is moving above this market price line here. We could possibly see 5,000 here pretty soon. Well, the most recent sell was 5,000, sorry. 6,000 here pretty soon. You never know. I think it's a pretty strong set. I'm not biased towards One Piece or Pokemon. Look, I'm not trying to say one is better than the other here. I'm just simply looking at the data here. I'm just comparing One Piece to Pokemon, okay? So let's go back to Team Up and look on eBay. So right now I was looking at what was being sold, so I've got it on sold listings right now. It looks like the most recent sales are strong for Team Up here at 10,000, 12,000. We do have a 6,000 sell even on eBay on the 23rd, whereas we saw on the 26th on TCGPlayer sold for 6,000. So we have 2 equivalent sells for $6,000 from Team Up on eBay and TCGPlayer. And also, this is coming from the United Kingdom. That's very interesting because they don't normally like to sell their things that cheap They want to get full market price because stuff over there is expensive. And when was that? That was, yeah, December 23rd. Okay, December 19th, 9,750. Okay, 8,100. Looks a little beat up. Okay, another 6,500, maybe a little bit beat up. I didn't really pay attention to whether or how beat up this one was. This one looks, let's take a look at this original listing here. It looks good to me. A little bit of wear it looks like on the plastic a little bit, just because it's old. But other than that, that looks good to me. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm serious. We could be seeing 6, 7, 8,000 here pretty soon for team up. I would keep my eye on team up if you're interested in it. Looking at Romance Dawn over here on TCGPlayer, we're looking at the sold listings here as well. Okay, one was sold as a best offer accepted for 3,800. This is wave 2. Let's keep going. Wave 1, 4,700. Wave 1, 5,000. Okay, looks like it's holding up pretty well. Wave 1, 5,000. Looks like that's holding up pretty well. Looks like One Piece is really strong. The top 5 in One Piece, well, this top 1 is compared to Team Up. What do I think about whether One Piece is in a bubble or not? Again, I come over here to TCGPlayer and I look at the volume sold here and how well it's selling and the acceleration of the graph. I don't think this is a bubble. When it slows down, we will see a correction, but at this point, it's not a bubble. It's going to find a floor price eventually here as it decides to correct. Whereas for Team Up, it may start to drop pretty significantly. We might find a floor somewhere around 6,000, maybe 5,500 if people start to actually list this and sell it. That is an if. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying what can happen if people start to sell this. Okay, so just keep an eye on it if you're interested in these. Going on to number 2, we've got Furious Fist versus the Memorial Collection. Now these are the second most expensive sets listed on TCGPlayer at the moment, with Furious Fist sitting at 4,500 and Memorial Collection sitting at 815. And again, looking at the abysmal sales volume for Furious Fist, how it's as expensive as it is, I have no idea. This is the year chart here. There are only 5 listings. Nobody seems to want to buy this, even at 3,200. This guy's got 16 sales, so maybe that is why. 4,480 seems like a good price. Nobody wants to buy it. And there has been one sale for 4,500 on the 3rd. Other than that, we've literally had 3 sales all year long. And so this graph here, in my opinion, is definitely inflated. It's definitely inflated. So again, if people decide to start selling this, the price will come down significantly. It will, I promise you. But right now, we're not seeing that. So I'm just saying if the prices start to come down, pay attention, okay? If this is something that you're looking for, these are the top 5 sets on TCGPlayer for Pokémon and One Piece, so pay attention to them. You can kind of treat them as indices. Do I think this is bubblish? Again, I do, because it can significantly crash if people start to sell it. Whereas if we look at One Piece, wow. You see what I'm saying? The velocity of this graph is very strong, and the sales are very strong. They are holding market price very well. 816, 819, 818, 830. And it does seem like it went up a little bit and we had a bit of a correction. Could we continue to see it correct? Possibly. We've only got 19 listings here. We've got one for 650, so it does look like going to be, oh, nope, corner damage. Yep, okay. So the next one that's mint is going to be 818. It looks like the price is coming down just a tad. This guy's got 12 of them. That is insane. So that's going to hold strong for a little while. This guy's got 11 of them at 830. That is insane. Look, One Piece, this is insane. I think it's going to hold for quite a long time. I'm looking at eBay again. Let's go to sold. Go to sold. 4,200, 3,900, one for 7,600 on bids. That's actually insane. Lab Sharks Inc. They're pretty reliable, but they are from Canada, and this does happen in Canada. 5,000. Okay, looks good. Looks good. Looks strong. Looks like what it was. This looks like a lot more is selling here on eBay than on TCGPlayer, which may make sense because people like to bid on these things. We've got sales all over the place here. Actually, so I'll take back what I said over here. According to TCG or eBay sales, it looks like it is still selling. The price does seem to be strong, but you know how the market works. If TCGPlayer drops, eBay drops. eBay doesn't have pricing like this. You have to go to pricecharting.com to look at that sort of stuff. And not a lot of people particularly trust pricecharting.com completely. I've sold things and never seen my sales pop up on there, so I don't particularly trust it either. I'd rather just do these comparisons myself. Coming over to eBay for One Piece Memorial. Go to sold. All right. 900, 950, 960 from Probstein. 867, 850, selling strong. The 28th, the 29th, the 30th, January 1st, selling very strong at these prices. Very much reflecting the graph down here on TCGPlayer and the volume being sold here. I think this price is very strong. It could correct, but again, is this bubblish? I do not think so. It is very strong. Whereas over here with Furious Fist, if the sales start to slow down, we could see this start to enter bubble territory, where it may have a crash. Move on to number 3. We've got XY base versus Awakening of the New Era from One Piece. XY base sitting at 4,200 flat. It looks like on TCGPlayer, there were 3 sales this year. Most recent 4,200. And we've got 5 listings. So you can see a pattern here. The top 5 sets in Pokemon doesn't look like they're selling. It doesn't look like many people want them. What do we do about this? Looking at the sold over here for XY base. Yeah, 3,800. 3,800. No, okay, again over here we have more sales on eBay again. Okay. Yep, it looks like the price is coming down though. The price is coming down from its $4,200 market price there. People are selling it for less. So that could mean that in the future, we will see people listing these for 3,000 like this guy has, maybe even lower if it continues to drop on eBay. We have one for 2,650 right here. And let's take a look at this box just to check it out. It looks like it has a little bit of a bend here, a little bit of rounding on the corners right there, just a little bit, maybe a bend right here in the box. So that could contribute to that price. But overall, I don't think it deserved to be bought that low. It looks really, really nice. I think the box looks amazing. Let's take a look at this. Okay, so maybe there isn't a bend. There's not a bend. It looks good to me. Looking at One Piece Awakening, the sold over here. $795. Case for $1,300. Cases $825, $772, $900, $699. It's looking like it is still also pretty strong on eBay as well, you know, as XY base set is stronger on eBay. How many were sold over here from the 30th? So 13 of those over here on eBay. Got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What was that again? That was from the 30th to the 1st. Yeah. So maybe 5. So less are being sold on eBay than TCGPlayer for One Piece. That sort of makes sense. It's pretty new. So these boxes aren't like in terrible condition to where people want to have the pictures as much. We do have pictures of these boxes down here. I'm on TCGPlayer though, so you can check these out, see what the condition of these are. And the lowest listing that I would probably want to buy here, maybe not that one. Unless you're into this kind of thing, you know what? I might actually buy that at $769. To be honest with you, is the market price $788, and it has a little dent. I would want a little bit more of a discount, but at this point, the listings are just going to shoot up from here. So that might be something I might want to grab just in case. And if I have to take a hit, you know, I would take a hit. But do I think this is bubblish? I don't think so. I think this is strong. I think we're going to see a correction on this at some point, maybe 10, 20%. And then it'll find a new floor price somewhere around maybe 650 and continue to flatten and then shoot back up again like they all do. So that is number 3. Number 4, we have Cosmic Eclipse booster box versus the premium booster box from One Piece. Cosmic Eclipse sitting at 4,000. Most recent sell 3,600. Over the year, we've had, okay, Cosmic Eclipse has had a little bit more action on TCGPlayer. We've got 1 there, 10 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, yeah, okay. Looking at the sales history snapshot, looks good. Looks like we're coming down a little bit. Looks good. Velocity of the curve is strong. Does this look bubblish? Honestly, yeah, like most of these, like I'm gonna say, yeah, a little bit for sure. There's only 13 listings, and if more people start to list these, the price is going to drop, and it's going to drop significantly because we do not have a lot of sales volume on TCGPlayer. It will drop. So let's go look at it on eBay. Look at sold listings. We've got December 30th, 32, 35. And 39. Well, 4,000. 37. These are all December 26th, so we're not even getting back to the 20th yet. And we've got quite a few sells. So here's where I'm getting with this. The top 5 Pokemon sets are going to be selling more on eBay than on TCGPlayer. TCGPlayer, though, as we know, dictates the market. So if people do start to list on TCGPlayer, the price will drop significantly. eBay is selling at these prices strong because TCGPlayer is sitting at these prices strong because nobody's buying it. So once people start listing and people start buying, we may see this drop. Now, again, this is if, I'm going to keep saying that, it's if people start selling this. People may not want to ever sell this stuff. Okay? People may not ever want to sell this stuff. So keep that in mind. But also keep in mind, you know, keep watch on this stuff. People start listing it, the price is going to drop. Okay? Looking over here at One Piece on the eBay. Sold 289, 298. Wait. Oh yeah, sorry. Volume 2. I'm tripping. Sorry. 880. 890. 810. Yeah, it looks strong. I think One Piece is going to continue to go well. We're seeing a little bit of a hump here, and I think we're going to see just a tiny correction, and then we're going to see One Piece get even stronger into 2026. We've got 27 of these listed, so Look at some of these listings here. Any pictures? I don't think so. No pictures. People seem to just love buying One Piece. Pictures or not. We have 8 of these at 719, so it looks like this market price is going to hold up very, very well for One Piece. Number 5 coming in. Looking at some of our favorites here, X and Y Roaring Skies and the extra booster anime 25th collection box. I love both of these. They're some of my favorites. X and Y Roaring Skies sitting at 3,900. And anime collection sitting at 543. Again, you can already see what's happening here. Again, the same pattern follows, a very strong curve up with very few sells here on TCGPlayer. Most recent at 32.99. Before that in September, 4,800. So we're looking like we're going to start dropping off here if people start listing this more and people want to buy it more. Again, that's sort of the thing with Pokemon and their top 5 is that people just don't want to sell it right now. But I can guarantee you, if people do start selling it, again, if people do start selling it, these prices are going to drop. And it will take other things with it as well. So be careful, keep an eye out on things. We don't have, people aren't listing multiple in any of these top 5 for any of these Pokemon boxes, really. The prices are going up as you look down the listings, but again, it could drop. But let's go ahead and look at the eBay and see what's going on over there and see if that's true. We have been doing. So on the 29th, 3,200. We have on the 25th, 3,650. 3,700 on the 24th. Really? 2,700? Okay, I mean, that could be a scam. Who knows? One sold for 30.25. Probestein is terrible at putting pictures up for things sometimes. 29.64. That's probably a legit seller. 3,500. So on eBay, it is selling strong at its market price. But as I said, market price on TCGPlayer dictates what people sell on eBay. So if we see TCGPlayer drop, eBay drops. Coming over to One Piece, very, very strong over the year, as usual. Started out kind of weak though, but the price reflects it. Do you see what I mean? The price is reflecting its volume here. There's not a disconnect. When the volume increased, we started to see more sells. Started to see a lot more movement on the graph. Looking at the most recent, an open 599. That's strong. That's strong. That's strong. 599, 650. So it went up. It came back down just a tad, and it looks like the sells are happening a little bit above market price here. We've got 32 of these listed, and it's looking pretty strong here on the listings, like right off the bat, going right up to 625. I think if people start to list these, more will list them, and more people will be buying them. Looking at the history here, if people were to list these at lower price points, they would get 8 up. They would get 8 up. So definitely keep an eye on One Piece here on TCGPlayer for the extra booster anime 25th collection. Okay. Now let's look at eBay again for the last thing here. Sold. Where are the boxes? Booster, let me see. Booster box. Okay, 645. 569, 499. Malaysia, probably a scam. 5 sells here. He's probably just starting. I wouldn't consider it a scam. 475, 290. Okay, and a lot of these sold on the 28th. 28th, I mean, just selling and selling and selling. So guys, I just want to let you know, for the top 5 that we're looking at here between Pokemon and One Piece, I'm sorry, but it looks like One Piece is here to stay for a long time, and it is going to be strong. going to be very strong. The Pokemon top 5 looks like it may have to be dethroned by other sets in Pokemon to be able to compete with One Piece, because the top 5 in Pokemon doesn't seem to be doing pretty well, guys. Now, finally, do I think the top 5 in Pokemon, do I think Pokemon is bubblish? I don't. The top 5 definitely look bubblish. They look like they could come down quite a bit. Whereas in One Piece, I don't think they look bubblish. I think they're very strong, and the velocity of the curve is supported by the volume. I think we're going to see tiny bits of corrections here coming up in 2026. But overall, I think more people are going to start moving into One Piece. One Piece is going to grow very strong. The cards are amazing. The quality of the cards are amazing. It's very easy to get a PSA 10. And yeah, that's my opinion on the top 5 here. Let me know what you thought about this video. Let me know if you hate what I think. Let me know if you like what I think. Comment down below. Please like and subscribe. It would help me a lot. And yeah, that's my opinion. Look, guys, I like Pokemon. I like One Piece. I don't like one more than the other. I even collect Dragon Ball. I collect all sorts of things. So when I'm looking at these things, I'm looking at them objectively. I don't just jump into things because they're hype. I always look at the sales volume. I always look at the velocity of the curves, and I always compare on eBay and TCGPlayer first about what I want to do, especially if it's going to be something new like One Piece and getting into that. So I would highly advise you guys do the same. Protect yourself, make smart decisions, and yep, I think that's about it.